Previously, we discussed, if you caught the video, Sweden is going after the users, or as we say, when it comes to hookers on the point, they're going after the Johns on OnlyFans in their country, and they're going to be arresting people for basically buying online services from OnlyFans and any other services that put out adult content. Think about that for a minute, ladies and gentlemen. But now what we're hearing is from the union, the European Union, they're going after 4 of the biggest sites of adult content, including Pornhub. And basically what's happening here is that they're slamming them for basically the failure of that they're not going by the child protection laws that's being enforced in the European Union right now. But before we get into this video, don't forget to hit that comment, like, share, and hopefully today's the day I've earned your subscription. I really do appreciate you, those clicking on that. It moves us up in the algorithm. We really do appreciate it. We're fully back now. We're in the middle of the Madman Summer Edition. If you haven't noticed yet, basically new summer opening, as we always do, summer background. We really do appreciate you guys clicking on us. Also, be sure to check out Sci-Fi Snob, which is the link below there. We will be on the panel this coming week, which is the Babylon 5 Season 1 finale, Chrysalis. We're going to be discussing that on the panel on there with several others. Do check it out. It's 11 p.m. Eastern right here on YouTube. So do check it out. Links below. So let's get into this. From AVN, European Union investigating 4 adult sites for AV failures. As also Stripchat is being downgraded from the VLOP status. The European Commission announced Monday that it's opening investigations into adult platforms Pornhub, XVideos, XNXX, and Stripchat. That's the name that we're just first hearing now with this situation, for what the European Union executive branch characterizes as suspected breaches of key age assurances. See, now the European Union is taking assurance using, instead of age verification, age assurance provisions in the Digital Service Act. The online space should be a safe environment for children to learn and connect, said Hannah Verkum. If said her name wrong, I do apologize. And the thing about it is, let me read this again. The online safe should be a safe environment for children to learn and connect. Understand, the internet is for everybody. It's not only for children to learn and connect. Okay, it's also for adults. There's, for people to watch videos, to educate themselves, obviously. But, you can't be hampering websites because you feel that children are going to those websites. That comes in the home itself, that they should be blocked. The Commission's Executive Vice President for Tech Sovereignty and Security and Democracy, in a press release, our priority is to protect minors and allow them to navigate safely online. According to the Commission, investigations into all 4 of the above platforms focus on potential risks posed to minors of the European Union member states, but also the absence of effective age verification measures. Initially prompting the investigation determined that the platforms currently do not comply with age-appropriate design and mitigations, misking, and risk assessments. It's a lot of bullshit on that, and we'll tell you why. And ensuring a high level of privacy, safety, and security for minors, and particularly with age verification tools. If proven, which they're going to be found guilty no matter what, failure to comply with these requirements will constitute infringements of the DSA, notes the Commission press release. The opening of formal proceedings does not prejudge its outcome and is without prejudice, bullshit, to any other proceedings that the Commission may decide to initiate on any other conduct that may constitute an infringement under the DSA. The European Commission also announced that it has reclassified Stripchat, a popular streaming platform with an operational base in Cyprus, as no longer being a very large online platform. The DSA defines VLOP as an online platform with over 45 million users across EU member states. Ownership of Stripchat submitted trafficking data that showed the platform no longer meets the classification of a VLOP. The decision applies in 4 months. The enforcement of the block-wide age verification was announced earlier this month. Once again, this is an attack. This is an attack on basically parties that, they're using as red herrings, as the boogeyman to that point. And why do I say this? Pornhub, of all the websites out there, because Pornhub has been attacked the most as far as that, and so has XVideos, so has XNXX, which is also part of this situation. Pornhub has cleaned up their websites. They have, since ILO has taken over, ILO has revamped the entire the platform itself. In fact, as of June 30th, there's going to be a content purge, another content purge with the site for those who haven't basically verified themselves properly on the website, who has content on the website itself. If you have not been verified by ILO and their systems, your content will be removed by the end of June. Also, remember, ILO works with a lot of organizations, national children organizations, basically that deals with trafficking, sexual abuse, that basically monitors the internet. And there's several other sites also that's on that, and they've worked with these organizations to make sure that they don't have this content on there. So it's not saying that Pornhub has not done any of this. Pornhub has done more than it should, way above than what it should be doing. And I bet the other sites have done the same as well. This is literally, just censorship. This is just censorship that they're going after. Understand, the parent should be monitoring their child when online. They should be monitoring what games they're playing, monitoring what television shows they're watching. That's what's called parenting. But the government is using that as a red herring, saying that we need to protect the children.
Oh, won't somebody please think of the children?
But they're not. They're not attacking the true sources of what's going on with children, the true child trafficking issues that have been going on for quite some time. They spend more time on this than the Epstein situation. Yeah, that is correct. This is all, like I said, this is all censorship. There are even countries, I think it was in Luxembourg. Luxembourg is basically resisting that. Basically, they're not going to go after websites that haven't, put up age verification situations. They're not going to do it, supposedly. And we're looking into that, whether that's true or not. But that's a report that we're getting right now at this moment. And the thing is that when you have, for example, in the UK, you got Ofcom. Ofcom is throwing out everything they can to try to block a lot of stuff online and on their broadcast, BBC network, and their other channels. And they're going after online, like sites like Netflix. They want to tax Netflix, add more money on there, because so that at least they could fund the BBC network. Here we go. See, the thing is, they want control on that. This is their new world order. The EU needs to go away. Same thing like with the WHO and other organizations. because they're not doing anything to help the people. If anything, it's destroying these countries. These laws that they keep bringing up. They say, well, you know, they think it's only children that's on the internet. There are adults there. You're taking away their rights, their privacy. Yes, I believe CP, you know, all those guys, you know, they need to go away. They need to be arrested, prosecuted. You know, it's an evil thing. But remember, these are the same politicians around the world that will condemn pornography. They will condemn anime, manga, and other subject matters. But when it comes to trans issues for children, they're literally nowhere near trying to stop that, which is just hurting children. It is hurting children. You know, I have nothing against anything against the trans community. If you're an adult, and that means, and I'm telling you, you should be over if you want to transitionalize, if you want to become a woman, you want to become a man, you should be over the age of 25. Honestly, I'm going to be straight out on that. You know, you want to wear a dress, that's fine. You want to wear men's clothes, that's fine. That's your personal issue. And in time, you may have to deal with it psychologically, as I see many people go through this. But when it comes to children, you should go, and I'm talking very young children, below, you know, from about 15, 16 and down. You should be going nowhere near them when it comes to this, especially those under the age of 11. You know, you try to promote these things, you know, kids' drag shows and stuff like that. That's another thing. I have nothing against drag shows. Drag shows are great. They're fun. They're fun to go to. They're funny. They're great. You know, to that point. But to drag your little child to them, no, that's wrong. I mean, if you talk to some really true drag queens, they'll tell you that is the wrong thing to do.
Kitty Demure is a drag performer, and she joins me now. So, Kitty, you don't perform in front of children, do you?
No, nor would I. And thanks for having me, Jesse. No, if I was performing for an audience and I saw a child, I would walk out.
So why do these drag queens keep foisting these performances on children?
Well, a lot of the performers, I can only speak for the performers. A lot of them are just like low-level wage workers. If you notice, some of them aren't the most beautiful, the most talented. They're typically from a local club or dive bar, and they're just doing it for the tips and the money that they're getting.
So they're doing it for the money, so I guess it's the parents who are booking these drag queens to perform in front of their young children.
Well, right. The drag queen is just, you know, giving them what they want. I mean, the market is there. I've gone against heterosexual parents saying, this is all your fault. I mean, you can't complain. And, you know, when it's your own kind that are actually creating these events and, you know, letting them go on.
Where the fuck did that come from? You know, I might harbor some anger here, but the thing about it is, it's straight on true. I don't know where it came to be. And let me tell you something. I grew up around, you know, the neighborhood itself. Hey, we had a gay bar, and of course, I lived in Manhattan at a point. You know, gay bars, you know, gay clubs and stuff around there, and nobody bothered. Nobody bothered to itself. You know, on Halloween, occasionally, you know, we're outside drinking. Yeah, you know, you had the drag queens come out to the bar. There was one across the street from my house. It was called Company at the time. That was that bar club there. And, you know, hey, listen, you saw guys dressed up like women and women dressed up like men. And, you know, they were like, oh, look at that. That's just... And nobody bothered. Nobody cared. What happened in that time period? What happened that it changed from... You know, we got the word transgender. It used to be transvestite. Because some of these guys are actually transvestites. They just like wearing women's clothing. Now they're calling themselves on there because basically, you know, it's gotten political to the point. This is why there is a division in the LGBTQ community. Now we have, what is it, Transtifa or whatever the hell it is, working with Antifa now? After that incident last week? I mean, this is the things that are going on. This is where, and I'll say this again, this is why when you look at an article like this and you see the EU going after the porn industry and the porn sites, adult content on there, that's the wrong direction you're going in. There are other issues that, basically, you're attacking something that is not a major problem. That it's a problem that should be resolved in the parent's home of the child. That's their problem, not a governmental problem. And this has got to stop. Because what you're starting to enforce is you're starting to enforce the dictatorship across the board. The UK is already fallen. Do you understand that? The IRA is regrowing back up again. Think about that for a minute. There are problems in Ireland right now that basically we could be going back to the way, the dark days of Northern Ireland once again. I hope to God that doesn't happen. Because the Irish are getting really pissed off from what's going on in their country. This is a government issue that should not be hampering internet services. You as a person, if you want to go to Pornhub, Stripchat, XVideos, XNXX, that's your personal issue. That's, you want to go there, that's fine. That's your privacy. Leave it alone. I don't need to identify myself when I go to these sites. I don't want anybody to know I'm going there, because that's my personal thing. Do you tell people what type of sex positions you have with your spouse? No, you don't. I mean, some guys might joke around with it in the bar, have after a couple of drinks, but really out in the open, the way it is, no, they don't. So why should I identify myself, put up my ID or my face on something that basically is going to identify myself to the site and most likely will be used against me, especially places in the EU? Remember, there are those who have been arrested in the United Kingdom right now for making, as they say, memes, remarks over situations that are going on. They have been arrested. And the police has gone through their stuff, their books, their computer, everything that they own, looking for stuff to prosecute them on. You have people being arrested for just praying outdoors. Some of them silent, not even speaking it out, that they're just sitting there praying. Where the fuck did this come from? And I'm not talking Islamic, I'm not talking Buddhism, I'm talking Christianity. When the hell did this happen? This is why I say we're going into a ninth crusade. We've been through 8 crusades in history, and a couple of ones in between, which is not counted as a full crusade, only a partial. So that's why there's only been 8 crusades in history. I think we're going into a ninth crusade. And it's not going to be between 2 groups. It's going to be for multiple groups, multiple ideologies, multiple religions. I hope it doesn't happen. But I think this is where we're headed for. They want to go after things that, and from an American point of view, this is something that, we've been going through history itself also. The 1990s, look at the Senate hearings on violence in television, violence in video games, music lyrics, game ratings boards. Now we had that Texas law that came out that may shut down a lot of animation and art and stuff like that, which it's not going to happen because the Supreme Court is going to override that. But still, think about the ramifications of this. And this has to stop. This will get to a point where it needs to stop. And you know how you stop it? Is you start to vote against this. Stop voting for these politicians. Stop, listening to them that certain politicians are the boogeymen that basically they're going to take away your rights when actually the ones that are telling you that they're taking away, that someone else is taking away your rights, is they themselves are taking away your rights. I know it sounds confusing, but think about that for a minute. And comment. Let me know your thoughts about this. Don't forget to hit that like, share, and hopefully today's the day I've earned your subscription. So until next time, thank you for tuning in. Check us out on Sci-Fi Snob, Wednesday, 11 p.m. Eastern, right here on YouTube, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye now.